Hello, my name is Edmond Jamna, and on behalf of DW Consult, I want to welcome you to Tutorials on the Go. Our zeal here is to help transition people with zero, struggling, or shaky base in accounting to an expert position and to a place of confidence. It is also a platform to assist in the smooth studying of the ACCA and ICA professional qualifications, as well as for any tertiary accounting discipline. All that is required of you is to subscribe to our channel and click on the notification bell as well to be part of the program. Tutorials on the Go, bringing accounting to heart. Now to this episode's lecture. Markup and Margin. It is customary for businesses to peg their profits in percentages. Now changes to their cost and that of the build-up for new products can easily be worked out for the selling prices to be ascertained. In this lecture, we are going to discuss the mechanism for coming up with such percentages and its impact on cost and profit. This information means that if we know the cost of sales, we will be able to calculate the sales and vice versa. So we'll first look at markup. So a markup is the gross profit expressed as a percentage of the cost. Markup is the amount by which the cost of a product is increased in order to derive the selling price. Let's test our understanding. A. Roberta has cost of goods sold of $20,000 and applies a markup of 20%. So what will her sales be? Then B. Joy has sales of $50,000 and applies a markup of $25,000. So we are now supposed to find her cost of goods sold. Sales is cost of goods sold plus profits. So for Roberta, we are looking for the sales. The cost of goods sold was given us $20,000 plus the profits. So the profit being given as a markup, we'll work it on the cost of goods sold, which is the $20,000, giving us $4,000. So the sales will be $24,000. When we come to Joy, well, let's see represent cost of goods sold. Sales, as usual, is cost of goods sold plus profit. We already have the sales figure, which is $50,000. And we are looking for the cost of goods, which is C here. And the profit markup is given as 25%, which is supposed to be charged on the cost of goods sold of C. 25% of C is 0.25 of C. We add it to the C, which is the cost of goods sold figure, giving us 1.25 C. So mathematically, if you're supposed to find the C, we will divide both sides by the 1.25. Cost of goods sold will now be $40,000. Okay. We move to margin, also known as the gross profit margin. This is the gross profit expressed as a percentage on the selling price, not the cost, as in the markup. So this is also sales less the cost of goods sold. So the margin and the markup are profit elements, but different ways of calculating them. When we test our understanding, Kojo has sales of $120,000. His gross profit margin is 20%. So what is the cost of goods sold going to be? Ajo, on the other hand, has cost of goods sold of $45,000 and a gross profit margin of 25%. The second example has given cost of goods sold and given margin, not markup. So what is the sales going to be? Working out the solution. For Kojo, we know sales is cost of goods sold plus profits. So using letters to symbolize them, S minus P will give cost of goods sold by shifting the profits to the other side because we are looking for cost of goods sold. Okay, so when we come to the cost of goods sold, the sales is already giving us $120,000 and the margin is already provided. So we just strike the margin percentage on the sales, giving $24,000. So now the cost of goods sold, subtracting the two, give $96,000. When we move to Ajua, we are looking for sales. Sales is always cost of goods sold plus profit. Cost of goods sold was given as $45,000. The profit was given as a margin. So it will be the 25% worked on the sales. The sales is unknown. That is why it is symbolized with S. It will be 45,000 plus 0.25 S, which is the 25% of the S. We will let the S stand on one side. So we have to move the 0.25 S to join the S on the left side. Because it was adding on the right side, when it moves to the left side, it is going to subtract. So it will give 0.75, equaling the $45,000. To find S, we have to divide both sides by the 0.75, which will give sales of $60,000. Let's look at simplified ways of arriving at the various elements in the formula. Cost of goods sold, which is C symbolized here, and your profits, which is P. You add them and you get your sales. So in terms of markup, because the markup is supposed to be calculated on the cost of goods sold, we will deem that to be 100%. Then if the markup is 10% here, the sales will be the addition of the two, giving 110%. In terms of margin, the base of the profit is on the sales. So we will deem the sales to be 100 with the profit element given. Subtract the 10 from the 100, giving the cost of goods sold to be 90. Moving on to the simplified form. The first of it is that, so in an examination or in a situation where you have the figure for cost of sales, C, and you have the markup, you just find the profits by multiplying the markup on the cost of sales. When you have the figure for cost of sales and you have the margin, the profit will now be 10 over the 90 times the cost of sales. When you now have the sales figure and you have margin, it is 10 over 100 times the sales figure. If you now have the sales figure and you're given the markup, so if you're looking for the profit, it will be 10 over 110 multiplied by sales. When you have cost of sales and you have markup, you can just find the sales by dividing 110 by 100 times the cost. When you have costs and you're given the margin, finding sales will be 100 over 90 times C. When you have sales and you have margin, to find cost of sales, it will be 90 over 100 times S. When you have sales and you have markup, the base will now be the cost. So to find cost of sales, it will be 100 over the 110 times the sales. When you have the profit figure and you have the markup, which is the percentage, to find cost of sales, you can divide 100 by 10 times the profit. When you have the profit figure and you have markup, to find the sales, you divide 110 by 10 times the profit. When you have the profit now and you have a margin, to find the cost, it will be 90 divided by 10 times the profit. And finally, when you have the profit and you have the margin, sales will simply be 100 divided by 10 times the profit. Let's test our understanding. When the first part 2 of this, test your understanding. Joy had sales of $50,000 and applies a markup of 25%. So what is the cost of goods sold? So now we have the sales figure, we have markup, and we are looking for cost. The cost will be 100 over the addition of 100 plus the markup times the sales. So cost will now be $40,000. If you check the earlier example that we solved, it is $40,000 that we got. The second example, Adjoa has cost of goods sold of $45,000 and a gross profit margin of $25,000. So once we have cost and we have margin, the formula for sales will be 100 over 75. That is the 100 base less the margin of 25 times the cost. So it will be $60,000. Again, when you check the solution for the second part of the second test of understanding, it is $60,000 that we got. So guys, this is where we draw down the curtains. If you want clarification or you have feedback for us, kindly put them in the comment section below and it will be addressed appropriately. Also at that, don't forget to hit the red subscribe button, hit the notification bell by 8, share, like. So we'll come to you again by way of tutorials on the go. Take care of yourself and stay blessed. Poker.